And we're live. No, we're not. We're recording. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Iron Deficiency, episode 1. I'm going to do that again. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Iron Deficiency, a podcast all about League of Legends. It is going to be an interesting first episode. We just decided to jump on and start recording. So some of you may already be familiar with us. I'm Josh. We're both from Neon City Daily, and with me is Dave.
Hi.
So we did a podcast called Neon City Daily, which was more focused around just games in general, and a bit of pop culture and some other horrific shit that we talk about.
Talks jizz.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Yeah. So, I mean, by all means, if you want to go and check that out, you can. But Dave and I here are very passionate. Well, I don't know that anyone could be that passionate about a League of Legends, but we do play it. And we play it enough that we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And doing that on the NCD podcast was met with groans.
Yeah, the other half did not enjoy it.
No. So this has been something that we've wanted to do for a while, and, you know, there's only so much you can plan and talk about it. In the end, it just kind of, let's just turn the mics on and do it. So what are our credentials? Why can we talk about League of Legends? Well,
look at our name for a start.
Yes, Iron Deficiency. Very clever name. Don't know who came up with that. That sounds like something you would have.
Maybe. I can't remember now.
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as credentials go, we're really... There's probably lots of podcasts out there, actually. We're probably filling a niche market, although I think most of the player base is low, elo.
Yes, yeah.
So we're really not filling a niche. We're appealing to the masses.
Masses, yeah. We're probably on the bottom of the curve. We're sort of below most of the player base.
True, yeah. So we'll give a little background because there's a few things I want to talk about. This podcast probably not going to be the most well structured. We're just going to wing this.
Just like the ELO we play in.
That's right. Yeah, you just got to go in and hope something sticks. But I mean, I've been playing since closed beta, which I don't like advertising because
of where we are.
Yeah, because at the moment we're both in bronze after fighting tooth and nail to get out of iron. What about you, Dave? Tell the people.
I played a tiny bit when it first launched. I played some like single player stuff. I don't think I ever played a proper match. And then I think it was season 9 I started playing with you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and
we were definitely playing when I was... See, I've got a horrible memory, and I associate things with what house I was living in. And I was in the house we first built.
Yes.
Definitely been in there for a while when you started playing. So yeah, we built that in 2017. So
it was whatever season 9 was. That's when I started playing.
Yeah,
basically, I started out playing Sona, and then Yumi arrived, and I was a dirty Yumi abuser for quite a while.
And I think you've still got the most mastery on Yumi, don't you?
She's my highest mastery at around 500,000.
And you haven't played her in a long time.
No, I haven't.
So that goes to show how much you just really hit Yumi.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And hit the dizzying heights of Silver 4, I believe.
Yeah, I think we did. It seems that I refuse to believe that we're getting worse. I think it's just, I don't know if it's getting harder, if people are getting better, if the population of players is more dense.
Yeah, there is part of that. Everyone knows how to play. And I don't always play that much, so and I don't get my eye in necessarily each season because I don't play many games.
Yeah.
I'll blame it on that.
Yeah, I mean, we both work. We've both got families. It's hard to find time, especially with something like League of Legends. You really got to make sure that you can put an hour aside.
Oh, yeah. Whereas we've been going with him, might play one game occasionally, maybe 2 a night if we're feeling it.
Yeah, if we start early enough and although we've generally taken the approach that, we've won the first game, let's stop. And if we play, or if we lose the first one, we win the second one, and we get enough LP to be like net
One
positive
ahead.
by like 1.
Yeah.
So
We're like,
but
that'll
hey,
do. We're
that's
out.
why they call it a grind.
But I'm enjoying the grind because we're not hitting it too hard. We're just having fun.
Yeah, we're not no-lifing it.
No.
We're not, you know, we're not Tyler 1. And that's, we've talked about this before. This is my first hot take on our brand new podcast.
Here we go.
Tyler 1 is not very good at the game. He just has the time to sit there and do nothing else.
Just
don't get me
playing
wrong, he's obviously skilled at the game, but I maintain that the law of averages,
That helps when you play that much, yeah.
would mean that if you played, although since he had a kid, he's not playing as much, but he did just jet off to the Middle East for Riot's launch of the MENA servers, Middle East, North Africa. And this is the first thing I wanted to talk about. How do we feel about... So, Saudi Arabia is pouring shit tons of money into esports. They've created an actual city.
Of course they have.
To support game development. Like, they want to... I think it was like 30 development companies for games. Like 50, I think they want to push out like 50 games in the next 10 years or something. And the prince of Saudi, because like it's like a hard monarchy.
Yeah.
Like not a democratic.
Oh, heck no. No, not at all.
Like,
not at all.
and it's hilarious because he is like he's like this hardcore weeb. Like for anime, he's just...
he'll love League of Legends then. He'll be all over those Ari skins.
And so because Riot took a stance, I believe, again, because, I mean, we're not a political podcast by any means, but Saudi Arabia hasn't got the best history of treating people equally or fairly or even like human beings. But, and I think Riot originally declined to enter the region.
Okay.
I know that there was something a couple of years ago where, or maybe last year, but they had the first like esports World Cup. Yeah. They're like, we're not even going to specialize in a particular game. We're just going to...
All the games.
And I think Team Liquid originally refused to go.
Yeah.
And then... backpedaled a year later because, and you watch the video on Twitter on the team, it's still on the Twitter page or the X page.
Yeah.
And they it's the hardest thing to watch because it's how do we acknowledge this country's like really shitty way of doing things?
Yeah.
And the fact that our original reasons for not wanting to participate still are relevant, but money.
I was going to say it's all about the cash.
Yeah,
Show me them dollars. And
they're like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of like, it's not fair to our players if we deny them the biggest competition or the biggest prize pool. Yeah. Of course, it's about the players.
So it's not fair if we miss out and everyone else takes the cash.
No,
exactly. It's really what it's about. Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty dodgy. But yeah, Riot finally invested in the region. The servers.
They're in China.
True.
Not exactly a shining light of democracy or just human rights.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Less sand.
The thing is, though, how harshly can we judge, like North America?
Oh, also not great, really.
Also not great.
Hello, Australia.
I mean, we
have our own issues with human rights abuses here too.
Yeah. So this is getting very deep for our first League of Legends episode, but I think it's important.
It is. It actually is important.
Yes. Yeah. Where is the line between? So they've obviously acknowledged, like Riot, pro teams like Team Liquid have acknowledged that there's concerning things happening in the region. But, like, you can't you know, because people like Tyler, for instance, got paid, I think, a shit ton of money again by not even Saudi Arabia, but
By Riot themselves. Okay.
to go. I don't know that for sure. I'd have to look it up, which I probably should have done. But
No, don't start having facts. That's no fun.
No. We're not that kind of podcast.
We're not about that.
But he definitely got money from somewhere. Like Tyler is a hermit. He'll stay home quite comfortably for years on end and never see sunlight. But so yeah, and he's just had a baby that he's, you know, head over heels in love with, and so to leave, you know, within months of having a baby and whatnot, I reckon it's
a good amount of
big
money.
Check.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he lost the challenge to Bols or something. And then there were 2 EU streamers.
Yeah, Baus came second to the other EU streamer.
Okay.
Like it was close. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think Tyler was really ever in the running. Like,
okay.
I think he was in the same. They all ended up in Masters.
Yeah.
And I think he closed the gap to within like 50, 60 LP.
Okay.
But he did get sick while there. And he does.
That's rough.
And I'll defend Tyler. He did get and does get griefed so much more because of
stream sniped and so on.
People troll him. There was he gets people that there were NA players who would create accounts with VPNs presumably. And if they got into a game and they were on the opposite team, they'd feed for him.
Oh, okay.
But then there were people that would just also troll.
Yeah.
And then I think on the last day, once the challenge was over, he just switched to the EU server and just bagged the shit out of EU for being just dog crap. And
still better than NA. You know, never mind.
Yeah, NA's esports in general is not in a good place in the West, I think.
Well,
generally.
They pumped a lot of money into it and then realised that wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
Like we're not actually generating enough. The VC money wants money back and it's not there.
So many investors have pulled the plug, and massive brands like I know BMW, I think, pulled the plug. I think HP was another one.
Because EU had some big sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just like NA or not. But
I'm not sure. I tend to watch EU. I don't really watch NA. I'm a G2 fan.
Yeah, so. I used to watch NA, but I'm a bit like this with NFL. Where I was a big Tom Brady fan, so I just barracked for the team he was on. Yeah. I did the same with Double Lift.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed Double Lift and Bjergsen as well. And so I kind of half-heartedly went for whatever team they just happened to be on.
Particularly with a league team is there's only 5 players, so it's easy to get attached to the players, not the team.
Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely. If all of, say, Caps left G2, I'd probably go, well, there's only really Mickey left from the original ones when I started.
He's support, Mickey?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, the golden era in NA was I think it was the C9, TSM rivalries.
Yeah. I mean, Liquid did really well there for a while. They got
Liquid, yeah.
They met G2 in the final at the MSI 2019, and G2 beat them. Yeah.
I think it's the deepest NA's gone on the international stage.
Yeah.
Technically, it's international, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's the mid-season international invitational, whatever they call it.
And then, I think it was TSM, Bjergsen, and Double Lift were on the same team. They had a really good run in Worlds a couple of seasons ago, and it was Biofrost as Double Lift support.
Yeah.
I like Biofrost. He kind of he's disappeared off the radar, at least for me.
He's on Twitch there. I see him occasionally. But I liked Core JJ. He was good value watching a bit of Team Liquid there for a while.
Yeah, as far as streamers go, I don't really go out of my way to watch any of them. I'll watch the occasional Tyler 1 VOD, maybe a little Double Lift when he's live, but maybe I should watch more. Maybe I'd climb if I picked up some.
Well, it depends which streamers you watch. Some are there for.
Broxer's good.
Yeah, he's actually educational. Yeah, he's good.
Broxer he keeps the toxicity at an all-time low.
Yeah. Then there's just entertainment streaming. You're like, yeah, I'm not picking up anything here. It's great to watch.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting good gameplay.
No, exactly. But anyway, that, we'll touch on just a sec.
Standby caller. Oh, pretty. LT.
Oh, we'll cut that out. Okay. So we're not, we'll touch on the latest in the competitive scene, but, that's not
only if something really grabs us.
Yeah,
It's more if something interesting happens. You're like, Oceania is still shit.
Yeah, or doesn't, or barely exists. I mean, it's run by a third party now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we have to go through the PCS.
Yeah,
to get to any of the internationals. Yeah.
So who does that lump us with? Like Vietnam?
They're the VCS, I think. So it's other Pacific areas, I think. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but we get beaten fairly handily usually. But it means at least we're getting some regional competition. So maybe one day will be good enough.
Maybe we will rise from the ashes. I mean, are we better than nothing? That's the question.
Well, I mean, I did hit 0LP iron, not iron.
You did?
Yes, iron 4.
Yeah,
so I've been the lowest of the low in Oceania.
Yes.
So, woo! Record.
It's, okay. That's a positive way of looking at it.
Exactly. Because literally the only way was up.
Yeah, true.
And we've climbed to the dizzying heights of bronze.
Yeah,
bronze. 4 in my case.
I know that I've peaked around silver 2 all time.
I think we should try and get back there one day. It's just if we can actually be bothered putting the time in.
The thing is, and I hesitate to say this because I think this is everyone's thinking, is I think we deserve to be higher.
Oh, yeah. The problem is everyone thinks that.
Exactly.
We're pretty much all wrong.
Everyone else is to blame when you're not.
We're all wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, there are some we do get trolled, and we don't generally troll. It's not very often we are.
Oh, we don't troll.
We have shit games.
Yeah, I can comfortably say, hand on heart, I've not trolled a game.
No, I've never ran it down.
No,
I've probably been tilted more than I'd like on reflection after the occasional game and going, oh yeah, that was bad. But I wasn't intentionally doing stupid things. Yeah. I just did stupid things.
I mean, we duo all the time, and you typically support when I ADC. We didn't really talk about roles. I mean, we touched on your Yumi love, so you're obviously a support main.
I'm a support main, and
I consider myself jungle main.
But you're good at ADC as well.
Yeah, I like ADC, and I like it because we get to duo and be in the same lane. And if you're on comms, it just makes sense.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I queued top secondary, but I've only played a couple of games top over the few years. So
bit of a Mundo one trick. Well,
I can't farm for crap. So
the thing is Zyra, I think you could comfortably go mid
I could go mid, that's true. Tank Zyra top. Bring it out, baby.
Is that a thing?
No, but I could make it. Look, hey, we're in iron and bronze. We could make it a thing.
True.
Except we get called for trolling then because people would think we are being
Which is bizarre because at that ELO, it's anything goes. Anything works because...
The cheesiest thing I think I saw was Nami singed. That was annoying. We got owned by that. That was horrible.
Yeah, there's been a couple of weird combos, and in the loading screen, you're just like, nah, we got this. That's so unconventional. And I think in the higher echelons, it probably does matter a bit, where it's more meta and off-meta picks that separate the skill levels. But
absolutely.
Down in the dumpster fire that is bronze and iron.
And some days I'm just getting old, so my hands aren't as quick as I'd like them to be. So things inevitably go wrong.
Yeah,
and I get hooked by the bullshit invisible champ again.
Yeah. Invisible champs need to die.
Just terrible. As old man hands here, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather play into Blitzcrank. At least I can see where he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Hooks aren't the problem. It's invisible.
No, it's the invisibility, like bloody Shaco.
Yeah,
bullshit
Shaco,
like that.
I don't like Pike. That's he's technically goes invisible. Good Twitch players.
Yeah.
Are a nightmare. And that's the other thing. Like we used to fear the mastery points You see in the loading screen, shit, they've got like 2 million mastery points. And then you're like, well, but then they're still down here with us.
Yeah, they're still playing with us.
Yeah.
So they can't be that good.
So, it probably does give you a slight edge. I'd have to imagine being that intimately familiar with a champion.
You're well practiced. So
Yeah,
you should know them, and you probably know most of the matchups because you've played that much of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, when you play against one of the new champions, you're like, oh, what do they do? Whereas if you're playing against like Lux, Leona, Nautilus, you're like, I know exactly what they do. I'll probably still occasionally get caught by that Lux, but I know what's coming.
I almost get a bit cocky, but I love baiting hook champs when I'm ADC. It's so fun to do, and it's satisfying. You get that dopamine hit when you just stand out in the open, just begging them to, like, especially a Siva.
Yeah, with the spell shield,
Yeah, because then I don't even have to dodge. I just have to press E quick enough.
Yeah, or you can, like, Ezreal and sort of arcane shift out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I play a lot of Zyra now. If I was quicker with my plants, I can basically put a plant up in front and it hits the plant.
Oh, yes.
My hands are not that quick.
Plus, there is a bit of animation time to that, isn't there? Before it
yes,
becomes
I've got to get the seed and the spell down on it to get it up.
Yeah.
So.
See, I played Lee Sin once and never again, because to play that champion, even just half acceptable, it requires too much combinations, and
you've got to do that even at our elo now to be okay. You've got to be able to do an insect now, like you've got to be able to do your flash kick back to the team now.
Yes, yeah,
to be okay.
And that's why, like, I avoid champions like Elise, where there's two sets of skills basically depending on the form that you take.
Yeah,
nah.
That's why Sona was my first. Because again, you don't one skill shot.
Yeah.
Simple. Yumi was simple, and then Zyra is two skill shots. The ult is kind of skill shot, but not really, and the W for seed. So you don't have to concentrate that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the snare on Zyra is
goes through minions. I hate it. I swear that was going to hit, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not like Nautilus's lollipop, where it just gets everything near it.
Yes.
You sort of get sucked into the void. Zyra, it almost runs over them and goes, no, didn't get you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it's very
bizarre. I have seen some. Again, everyone probably thinks they hit their skill shots. And,
of course.
We're not separating ourselves from the masses, but
no, heck no.
We're recording a podcast and they're not, so it's gospel. But circling back to how we haven't trolled games or anything like that, I think the worst thing I've done is rage quit. Very early on, and maybe I could count on one hand how many times I've kind of rage quit and not come back. But this was before penalties. This was back when you could pull the network cable and it would just consider it a technical issue.
You'd drop out rather than...
We're talking like really early.
Whereas now it's all punished quite heavily. Even if your internet goes down, it's still your fault.
Yeah. But, I think they've done well in addressing that. Between early surrenders, AFK, stuff like that.
And Vanguard seems to have got rid of the bots as well.
Yes.
You don't see the Yumi bots just floating there, not doing anything.
That was
a plague there for a while.
I don't think I've seen a genuine scripter, but I've definitely seen bots. Scripting there's some suspicious things going on.
Yeah.
And if it's consistently, like if someone's consistently hitting a hook or an impossible prediction repeatedly,
you're like,
There's been a bit of that where you've gone, that's a bit sus, but I've won, so I don't really care.
Yeah. There was one game we had a champion on the other side who would not take damage. Whatever you throw at them, they would not take damage.
Well, I remember that,
And you're like, what?
Was that the Scion? It was the Scion, I think.
I can't remember now, but it just would. There was like,
whatever
any of us I'd throw into it would not take damage, and it was like that's got to be a bug or something dodgy going on.
I have seen a Scion because his ultimate, where he does the big charge, and then knocks up. It's got very limited mobility or steering, and I have seen him move normally in ult.
Yeah.
So people like, I don't know if it was a bug or maybe that is someone that was scripting. I don't know, but I did see that once, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
I mean, unless they're moving through the ranks quickly, and if they're scripting it at ELO, they're shit at it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, now this is something we probably won't do every episode, but they're few and far between. I just want to go through the patch notes.
Nice.
Now, I never read patch notes. So I thought, awesome, we're going to start a podcast.
I should read them.
Now's as good a time as any.
For a while there, you asked me, you were like, what's in the patch notes?
Oh,
and I would relay
yeah.
key information for you.
So I'm going to load them up now. If you're watching this, then you'll see these along with us. If you're just listening, well...
Oh, you're missing out on our glorious faces, so...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's your own fault. But I haven't been through these yet. This is completely fresh, so this is patch 14.17. At the time of us recording, it's, 16 hours ago that they put this out. What do we got here? So, blah, 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 blah. They're hitting all queues, so ARAM, Summoner's Rift, matchmaking improvements. I just want to see our live SR balance changes. What's SR? Oh, Summoner's Rift.
Summoner's Rift.
All right, okay.
Josh has been playing this game since beta.
Yeah, exactly. I do have King Rammus to prove it too, by the way. First, we're taking another swing at the prevalence of ADCs in solo lanes.
There's been a heap of that in pro. You'll see.
Yeah,
basically every game has every game has at least 4 ADCs because there's down the bottom and both mids. Yeah,
that's nuts. And I remember it wasn't that long ago. People were whinging that they weren't relevant.
The weakest role in the game and stuff like that. Yeah. Like look at those nerfs. There's a few of these there.
So they're taking a swing at tank supports who have become more powerful.
Yes, Warmogs. They had to nerf that. Yeah,
you have to hit to trigger the passive though? You have to have like 3,000 health.
But that doesn't take much. It's bonus health, isn't it, or is it 3,000? I can't remember now.
Oh, I'm not
sure. But it got to the point where it didn't need much. Like pretty much every tank support was building it. Heck, I built it on Soraka. It's quite handy.
Yeah, right. So what do we got here? Matchmaking improvements. So we've seen, and I'm quoting, a lot of player feedback around issues surrounding the balance of blue side, red side, and off-roll balance. The patch were making changes to better match off-rolls, including matching secondaries as if they were off-rolls. I see this complaint quite a bit in high ELO. That, I guess they go to the effort of looking at third-party tools once they're in the game and seeing the match history to pick out, why have I got 4 auto fills and the other team are all on roll?
And that does seem unfair.
Enough. Yeah, that does make a difference. So they've increased off-roll parity, which is a good thing.
As long as it doesn't affect queue time too much, it should be fine.
It would have to, surely, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Reduced how large LP gaps could be between players in a game and decrease the red and blue side imbalance in higher MMRs especially. So is there, and this is the thing, I am not a student of the game at all. I just play the game. You're the one that reads and you're a student of the game.
To some degree, yes.
I don't even know, based on the loading screen or champ select, what side of the map I'm going to be on.
Okay, if you're on the top of the loading screen, you are on the blue side.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you're on the bottom, you're on red side, which, when you think about it, is actually backwards.
Well, no, red is hell. That's how I'm going to remember it.
In theory, I think it used to be red had a slightly better chance of winning the game. Or not better chance, but you were expected to win. Blue side is technically easier to play, so they put the team who, in theory, had less chance of winning on the blue side.
Now, why?
I don't know. I don't know if this, and this is also before map changes, so who knows?
I'm going to look into that, and next episode I'm going to do a deep dive. Because I've always wondered why sides matter. Proximity to things like Dragon, if it's technically slightly closer to you, or you're on the side where it's actually accessible.
And I guess it can be a bit about the bot lane, I guess, because if top lane's a bit of an island,
Yeah.
and even down to where the jungler starts, is it easier for them to start on the blue if they're red side because it's there they get a good leash, especially at our elo.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
Junglers still need leashes.
And the fact that we're brainstorming this when many people probably already know.
People are shouting at us going, "You idiots," and we go, "Yeah, that's correct."
Yeah. So just
Absolutely.
just to reiterate, you're not here
To learn.
to learn. Well, no, you're here to learn with us.
Yes.
Despite my 15 plus years of playing this game.
Not necessarily from us, but with us, yes.
With us. Oh, absolutely. There's a bug in the leave detection. Okay, so not, yeah, okay. So if you, it didn't detect you as a leaver. They fixed, 200,000 more penalties per week in fixing that bug. So presumably that's how many people weren't getting penalised for it.
Well, lucky them. They got away with it for a while.
In order to address queue sniping and stream sniping, behaviours that both involve abusing ready check to disrupt a game, we've implemented new penalties for declining ready check.
Oh, interesting.
You'll still be able to do it the occasional game, if you're otherwise occupied. But these new penalties will affect those repeatedly. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I remember watching people at the end of a season, like high elo, trying to get those extra games.
Yeah.
And people seemingly watching their stream.
Oh, just trolling by going.
And trolling by, not accepting if they could work out they were on probably the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it is annoying, just as even in our elo, going, oh, game, no, someone declined. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Especially when it's in quick succession. You're like, how many people could possibly be in queue?
Yeah.
And then walked away?
Yeah, because we run into the same place game after game in our elo.
Yeah.
So
that's next patch. Okay. Update to ranked restrictions. Decrease in report rates and jump in per game KDA for games with ranked restricted players. Blah, blah, blah. Rolling out these changes to all right regions. I don't understand that. What are we talking about here? It's a decrease in report rates.
So if they keep having terrible KDA games, like if they're terrible, is it they like troll? They get restricted and they can't return to ranked games only after winning 3 matches in quick player draft. That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems severe, but very specific. Don't know. Back in 14-15, we shipped a change to Infernal Cinders. Oh, I could not care less. Wait, is that? Hold on. No, maybe I do. They're the ones
that's
that the
on
dragon drops.
Infernal Rift, where you get the cinders. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are they? They're just dropping it. No, they're increasing.
No, they're increasing the value, but decreasing the spawn rate.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's actually worth picking them up.
Yeah.
So you can pretend like you're playing Bard and you get to collect things.
Yeah. So champions. So we're not going to go through all this in detail.
No. Unless anything stands out to you.
Aurora getting nerfed. Still don't know what she does. Ashe is getting base health decreased. Passive burn damage on Brand is capped against monsters.
Because he's doing a lot of jungling.
In the jungle, isn't he?
Him and Zyra in the jungle have been in pro a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Because the speed of clear is insane. Just,
Ooh,
they're buffing Caitlyn.
Ratio. Yeah.
Time to play some Caitlyn, Josh.
I bet you we're going to see shitloads of her. Ezra. Oh, no.
He's been the AD's gotten back down again. They've fiddled with that so many times.
Would like to inject some more interest in that lane because pro dictating it. Here's my idea. They should have like a pro scene for iron and bronze players. And
that would be hilarious.
Establish a
different meta.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
And then different patch notes as a result.
Do we get we get different patches to them?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But then like if you cross like the silver curtain, you are suddenly like on a different patch with different. Yeah.
But then you have to relearn things. That'll be tricky.
This is the first time I've read a patch.
So you wouldn't notice if it happened anyway.
I reckon Graves is doing poorly. And this is the thing, like Graves is not doing poorly in bronze.
Very few champions are, unless they're hard to play.
Exactly, yeah. And that's to our point earlier that meta is just really nowhere near as important down here.
It's your hands and macro,
Yeah.
which doesn't exist.
Well, I'd say it's not even... I think it's macro and mental
yes.
fortitude.
Yeah. Knowing if your team is like 0-4,
Because
if the game is not done, it's okay.
Yeah, because if you have people trolling or you have people not performing, you generally don't have the skills to truly carry like you might in a higher ELO game.
You would hope because we're all fairly matched, we should be able to. Like, you've certainly carried games.
Oh, yeah, but it's... Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's... I think, macro's a big one. Macro's a big one.
It's people turning up at Dragon at the right time.
Oh,
or knowing when to...
mate, it's so frustrating.
Or knowing when not to take it, going, we're not strong enough.
Even something that, like, one of the best things I learned in jungle was generally, it's highly situational, but I don't touch an objective, a major one, until I've seen the other jungler. Yeah. And that is why you see the pros ward so much and try and get as much intel on their jungler as possible, because you know how hard your lane can then push if he's nowhere near you, or whether you can have a crack at it like a dragon if he's on top side. Yeah.
I try to ward as the support. I try and stick as many wards out as I can.
We're both very proud of our vision scores.
But you need the rest of the team to do it too, otherwise...
Oh, no.
Yeah. 75 gold for a control ward. No.
Cannon... so Cannon got a buff to his Q. Ooh.
Damage decreased, though, is it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not... This is all the nerfs still.
They're up and down depending on the list. Some of them we buff, some of them we...
Kindred got an attack speed increase on her Q, E damage increase, and cooldown. Okay.
Because she had a nerf with Kraken Slayer, as they say there. There's different things that... It's just so complicated, hence why it's hard to read all the notes sometimes because we don't care enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Q damage decreased, W damage decreased on LeBlanc. Lilia, good. Oh,
she's strong.
Yeah, she's strong. Really strong. But they've only capped her monster damage. Yeah. She's a menace.
Hey,
like late game, she's a massive menace.
The amount of damage she can.
Yeah, and her mobility. It's just gross.
Yeah. Speaking of menaces.
Q damage increased on Lissandra. R slow increased at lower ranks. Pike, one of our personal
we're lightly
favourites
nerfing Pike.
To hate.
Nerf him harder.
They've shaved 5 off his base armour. Rumble, passive damage decrease.
He's been strong.
Yeah,
Rise,
if I play top lane, I play Rumble. Generally,
he's been very strong lately. Apparently,
Rise
he actually appeared again in I think it was an LCK or LPL game. I was like, I haven't seen him for ages.
I remember old Rise. What do we got here? Senna. So she's getting a heal decreased.
She became basically AP support, like healing support, because she became really strong with some of the changes.
Oh, hence the AP ratio on her.
Yeah, she was really strong. Yeah,
right. What else have we got here? Seraphine decreased shielding on her W. Damage on Silas nerfed. That's a good thing. Oh, I mean,
hate Silas.
Yeah, I think is his W. I think that's the one that gives him back health as well.
I've never played him, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Twisted Fate Q damage increased.
Oh, they're waiting for him to be at Worlds so they can have him.
Twisted Fate nowadays because that was being spammed hard for a while there.
He was in the top lane a lot there for a while.
Yeah. Varus, I like playing me a bit of a Varus. Q max damage increased, E damage increased. That's good, especially on the piercing arrow. It's good for poke. Warmog's Heart. So it got nerfed. It's still the de facto support tank purchase. Okay. Oh, they've halved the movement speed bonus and pumped the price by 200 gold. Okay.
It was a bit too good. Trying to make it actually so there's options. You don't have to take it.
Yeah, right. I'm going to start skipping some of these, but...
I'm now into runes.
Yeah, I really don't care about runes. You know why? I click auto.
Go, whatever everyone's using, give me that one.
Yeah, I go auto and done.
It's fun theory crafting, but then I go, what's been suggested works quite well. I'll just go back to that.
See, and even on the subject of theory crafting, I think it was much better when it was the old rune pages.
The ones where you had to basically unlock them and pay for them.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. Someone came in late. That would suck.
Maybe get rid of the paywall, like in-game currency paywall, but I think
they're much simpler now.
Much more versatile.
Oh, true.
Fields.
But it's easier for them to squash things and not have people mad because they've spent money getting a set of things, I suppose. But yeah.
What's this? So buffered charged abilities. Instead of smashing the E key, you simply hold it down while you're CC'd and your spell will cast the moment you're free. Ooh.
Oh, nice. That's handy.
That is handy. So, yeah, that's basically for everyone that channels abilities. Unless they're interrupted, presumably.
There's someone else hits them with something.
Yeah. They've updated Misfortune's titties. New VFX. Like, come on, look at all her skins. You got base skins, you got Cowgirl, Secret Agent, Candy Cane, Crime City, and Pool Party. It's like Halloween wish list. For, like, you're just missing slutty nerfs.
Correct lane indicators.
For those new to League, it can sometimes be a bit confusing which lane you're supposed to be going to.
Okay.
There's 3 of them, and they're pretty well marked.
Yeah, and even, I guess, if they make it obvious in the client, like when you get picked for your role, it shows you where you're going. But maybe big flashing arrows.
So, what is it? It's a bit confusing. If your account is below level 11, you'll have you'll literally have arrows. Okay.
That's funny, but that's good.
Yeah.
It's
not an easy game to pick up as a
No,
beginner.
I was about to say they do need to work on, if they want to keep attracting people, they do need to work on their new player experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe just turn off all chat until you're around level 30.
Like, yeah, I started it with friends, and that's a story for another time, but because it's, you know, the journey and those that have taken it with me.
And have fallen by the wayside.
yeah, who I've lost along the way.
I don't play by myself. Yeah, I just play with you. I rarely that I build up a game by myself.
Yeah, I used to just continue solo queuing if you weren't about. But yeah, it's got to the point now. I've got other games I want to play, and this is kind of reserved for just hanging out and playing a game together. And then there's a bunch of bug fixes.
A lot of bug fixes.
And then we go into just the other game modes that I don't care about.
We play the occasional IRAM, but you don't actually care about it.
No.
We are not sweaty in that regard at all.
No. I couldn't care less about these buffs and nerfs for champions. Like that, I mean, that's a big job. That's a big job, like applying different nerfs and stuff like that, depending on game mode.
And it's kind of where I go to try out champions I'm not going to play otherwise. So I don't want them to be too different in ARAM.
And I dislike people that dodge ARAM because they don't get the champion they want.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, people have ARAM accounts and only have the champions unlocked they want to play.
Yeah. Although I think you need a minimum of like 16 now.
Oh, nice. So you're going to have a bit of a...
there's going to have to be
a bit of a pool.
Choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just find that so bizarre. But yeah, anyway, that
was some patch notes.
That's our Iron Deficient take on the 14.17 patch notes. I'm not going to remember any of them.
Play Caitlyn, she got a buff.
True. Okay,
Ezreal got nerfed.
And if I'm on the bottom in the loading screen, I'm red side.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Then there was that weird time where they had the positions in the wrong spots for ages, so you couldn't tell who was support.
Yeah. Although the first thing I do is I tab, drag everybody on the scoreboard to the right spot.
They fixed that again now, thankfully, which is nice.
Small indie company, as we know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, is it? No, I think it's an HTML5 client now, but it used to be based on Flash. And it was people think it's bad now, but it is horrific.
Or every now and then they just have a bad one where I'll just crash. I had a couple of games in a row months ago now where I had to reboot my computer.
Yeah.
The game just locked up, and it's just like, nope, I've got nothing.
I do like the tolerance they've built into the load time. So if someone crashes, it doesn't just start the game without them. It's almost too long that
it doesn't tell you who it is either.
No.
Remember when it used to show you each person's loading?
Yeah.
Now you can't tell.
I remember when they implemented the change where it wouldn't notify the other team that someone on your team's dropped off.
Yeah.
So it might buy you an extra few minutes to
get them
not
back.
knowing that it's a 4v5 and pushing that advantage. But we've won a few 4v5s.
Yeah. Well, we won the one where I dropped out and had to reboot and took me a while to get back because the client just kept crapping itself. We ended up winning that one, in memory.
I think our most clutch game, I remember playing Siva and we'd lost everything.
Yeah.
It was down to the Nexus,
Yeah.
And we 2 versus 8,
Yeah. Yes. I think the rest of our team had given up, although they started to come around when they could see us consistently wrecking.
That's where the mental comes in, the strong mental, because so many people... I don't think this is unique to our ELO.
No, not at all.
So many people get to a point and they'll die once, and I hate it. They'll go, GG, go next.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fuck, man,
the problem is you can't, if they're joking, they need to make it obvious as well. Yeah.
Yeah, does everything have to just go perfectly?
Yeah.
Have you not lost a point or a life in any video game ever? Do you just give up and uninstall?
Okay, that's it, I'm done. Yeah.
It's just...
Don't play Dark Souls games.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's just the jungler's fault. You know that.
No, it's always the jungler's fault.
Yeah. All the support's fault. It's always someone else's fault.
There is a bit of a tier list, of who people like to blame and in what order.
Yeah, well, everyone else at the top, then jungler, then support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Occasionally you would get people who are really just chill, and they'll even admit fault. Yeah. They'll talk the team up. They'll give them a pep talk. It's rare, but...
Yeah, I like to say my bad if I did something stupid and got caught. I like to admit or go, I'm having a bad one. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Just so that even if we lose, they know I'm not trolling. I'm trying to, I'm still trying to do my best.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's still a video game.
Oh, yeah. And if you're not having fun, I tell my kids this. If you're not having fun, don't play it.
Yeah.
Life's too short. Not that I don't tell them life's too short, but 10 years old. But, life is too short to, and this is something I had to learn with video games in general, is I would almost force myself to play more of a game if other people were enjoying it.
Yeah.
Just to play with them, or it was popular, so I wanted to get in on the conversation and know what I'm talking about. Nah. Life's too short. I'm playing...
Put it down. Yeah.
This is not LOL related, but I'm playing Black Myth, Wukong.
Yeah. That's LOL. Well, that's LOL related. It's got Wukong in it.
Yeah, it does. But he... Actually, what's funny, right? This is a segue, but it wouldn't be an NCD related podcast. But Screen Rant, they do reviews and stuff, movies, games, stuff like that. They did a review of Black Myth Wukong, keeping in mind that this game is being met with almost universal acclaim.
Okay.
And even I bought it. It's the first AAA game I've bought in a long time, 90 Australian dollaroos.
Yeah.
And people claim it's not a Souls-like, but it certainly has elements of a Souls-like.
You haven't refunded it yet, though, have you?
No, and that's
so. There you go.
Yeah,
it's not too Souls-like.
I haven't beat the first boss though.
Oh, okay.
And it's not even the first boss; it's the first minor boss.
Can you go around, or do you have to beat it?
But here's the thing: unlike a Souls-like, you can die, respawn. All the minor enemies that you can beat easily are back, but you don't lose any souls, or you don't lose anything.
Nice.
You don't even lose the XP. So
Oh, nice.
I basically repeat
It'll help you
the
level
area,
up
die at the boss, re-clear the area, get another level.
Yeah.
Basically, my plan is if I have to reach max level just to beat the
beat that
first
first
area
guy.
boss, I will. But anyway, Screen Rant did a review, right? And Wukong is from a Chinese studio, and it's based on Chinese
Lore,
like
essentially, or
mythology.
history or mythology and stuff, yeah.
Right? They gave it a negative review for lack of diversity and inclusion. I'm sure my hatred for cancel culture and like forced inclusion and things like that will bubble to the surface over the coming episodes. But that was just like ridiculous.
I think if you're set in a particular time period,
yeah,
and particular place, then you put in things that are for that.
yes.
You don't have to drag other things in. Like you can, there are ways you can make it as inclusive as you could, but you don't have to add people from everywhere. That would be weird.
No, yeah, it was such a bizarre take.
But is the game good? It's enjoyable?
It's, to be honest, the studio had one failed or one cancelled mobile game, and then suddenly came out with a masterpiece. Like,
Nice.
it's AAA quality. It looks incredible, even to modern standards.
Yeah.
It runs flawlessly. I haven't had a crash. Most AAA games, I turn on the frame, frame rate counter just to see what I'm
see
getting,
how it's
what I need
going,
to adjust. And no, they haven't even had the need to turn it on because it's just smooth.
Nice. So how does it compare to Golem?
It's a hard comparison. It's a hard
Tough,
comparison.
Tough.
Did we ever upload that? I live streamed it. I should see if I got the VOD and
because that was an appalling game.
Oh, that was horrible. Like, just even playing it, knowing it was horrible, but doing it for the content was difficult. That was tough. It's good to see though that the new there's a new Lord of the Rings related game. You play the dwarves.
Okay.
It's a survival crafting game, and that got well reviewed. So the Lord of the Rings IP lives to fight another day in the gaming world.
Still squeezing blood from that stone and just getting a bit more.
Absolutely. It's hilarious. I think someone, I was reading today that the lore that this new Mines of Moira or Maria or whatever it is, the mines where the fucking dwarves live.
The dwarves live, yeah.
It's based, the whole story of that game is based on one paragraph of not even like the main trilogy that he wrote, but the Similarian or whatever it is. He wrote like an encyclopedia about Middle Earth and shit. I don't know. It's where we need like Nick or something. He's like,
that means there's like literally thousands to millions of more games they could make if they just go
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, we're a League of Legends podcast primarily.
But we play other games too.
We do play other games. And we'll finish each episode with a bit of general chit-chat, I think. We don't know what... Like I said, this is probably the worst... Well, it is the worst planned podcast ever because we had nothing to really discuss. I was just excited to talk about Saudi Arabia and ethics in gaming. And
well, I mean, Riot, that completely ethical company, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to talk about their MMO too in coming episodes because I'm genuinely excited for that.
At least they haven't cancelled it like some of their other games. So
well, they didn't cancel it, but they canned the entire development of it and went back to the drawing board. It wasn't unique enough, which I don't mind as like a reason if it's true.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how you make an MMO unique. What mechanics?
Oh yeah, it's still a pretty saturated market because people, or companies, developers release MMOs. They either it's a sink or swim market, and when you've already got sharks in the water like WoW, Guild Wars, like these established.
Final Fantasy 14,
16.
A lot of people. 16? I thought it was 14.
No, it's 14. You're right. Yeah,
14.
16's coming out in the.
Yeah. So that's not an MMO though, is it? That's just another.
It's
the franchise
entry in the series. But, so we'll probably talk a bit more about Riot in general, but for now...
we'll ask them to bring back Twisted Treeline.
Yeah, Twisted Treeline's got to come back. Maybe one day someone will boot up like a WoW Classic server, but a League
Classic. Back with those old graphics, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and they'll get sued and League of Legends or Riot will go, but hold on, people loved it, so we're going to do it.
We're going to release it, yeah.
Make money out of it. But yeah, so anyway, hope people enjoyed the first episode. It was very generalist, a bit all over the place, but we just wanted to record something, really. We genuinely enjoy the game. We, I guess, want to be a positive influence in a generally negative or negatively viewed community.
Yeah.
Which is sad because, it's a massive game as far as player count and things like that. And I still think probably a bit of copium, as the kids would say, that it's the vocal minority that are the toxic ones.
Oh, yeah. I'd say most games.
Mind you, 200,000 people will get banned now that they fix the lever.
The lever. Yeah. That might reduce the toxicity because people are like, oh.
True.
Or they're just going to stay and troll. Who knows?
But, so we're gonna keep recording some episodes. We're going to keep talking about our experiences in the game. We're going to set up some places where, if people do listen to this and they want to have a chat, want to play some games.
That'd be great.
Particularly if you're in Australia or Oceania, oceanic servers, beauty. And we just want to be a small force for good and just talk about a game that
we enjoy.
A lot of people enjoy and we enjoy too.
Yeah.
So, if they drop patch notes, if there's breaking news, things like that, we'll cover it.
Or if something ridiculous happens in one of our games,
absolutely.
we will share.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening to the first episode of Iron Deficiency. If you've got any ideas for future episodes or things you want to hear,
we'll knock up a social media. We'll knock up a social media page or an email at some point, and we can.
We'll do all the content.
It'll happen.
Things.
It'll happen eventually.
Exactly. Anyway, thanks for now, and I guess we'll maybe do a fortnightly release schedule for now.
Yeah, we won't. We both work. We both have families, so And if we actually still want to play some League, we can't do this too often.
True, but and that said, we might put some of our gameplay, such as it is. I know we've talked it up massively tonight.
Oh, yeah. I'll get the clips from my client where actually things went well.
Yeah, if you want to witness
the
witness actual gameplay, we'll probably throw a bit of that out there once we set up distribution or YouTube. So, anyway, thank you, my friend.
Cheers. And he's been Josh. I was still Dave.
And we'll talk to everyone later.
Toodles.